wrestling news for March 3rd, 2022. And your headlines for today include: Tony Khan has purchased Ring of Honor, Twitter explodes after huge announcement. Shane McMahon name-dropped on AEW Dynamite. CM Punk makes several WWE references on AEW Dynamite. Important update about Vince McMahon-Pat MacAfee interview. Sad news concerning Bayley's WWE return. WWE releases Global Talent Strategy and Development Manager. Amari Miller suffered concussion during NXT 2.0 this week. Backstage reaction revealed. MJF believes WWE will do whatever it takes to sign him. Major news concerning Jon Moxley, Bloodsport 8, and more. We're kicking off today with some truly massive news from All Elite Wrestling, as on this week's Dynamite, Tony Khan made a rare on-screen appearance, and the huge announcement he had been promising certainly lived up to the hype. Opening up the show, Khan spoke about starting AEW in 2019 and compared their success so far to the launch of Ring of Honor in 2002. It was then that Khan made his announcement that he had purchased ROH from Sinclair Broadcasting. In only his second appearance on a live Dynamite, Khan certainly made an impression with this huge announcement, and on Twitter, his name quickly got trending. On social media, fans gave their 2 cents on the matter, with many hailing the development as huge, and some noting that ROH had been integral to AEW since the beginning, as it was Ring of Honor who had paid for the production of 2018's All In. Some argued that Khan's announcement wasn't as big of a deal as it appeared, saying that the AEW president was just satisfying the current fan base, and buying ROH wouldn't bring any new eyes to the product. However you feel, all of Ring of Honor is now All Elite, and after weeks of teasing an announcement that would be huge for the wrestling world, Khan kept his word last night. Khan's announcement is a huge deal for AEW, who continues to prove themselves as an alternative to WWE, but like many of his wrestlers, Khan couldn't help but take a jab at the other company. During his announcement, Khan said that Shane's not here, a reference to the final WCW Monday Nitro where Shane interrupted Vince McMahon to unveil himself as WCW's new owner. Some have also seen it as referencing the rumors that Shane could be buying ROH now that he's been released from WWE, or the rumor of him possibly signing with the All Elite promotion. In interviews since Shane's WWE departure, Tony Khan has said he would take a call from McMahon, but what do you make of this week's reference to WWE's prodigal son? Let us know in the comments. Tony Khan isn't the only person who wanted to reference WWE last night, as CM Punk had plenty to say about the company he last worked for in 2014. Speaking ahead of this Sunday's dog collar match with MJF, Punk compared his 2014 walkout to when Steve Austin left WWE in 2002 after learning he'd be losing a squash match on Raw to Brock Lesnar. Referencing JR's infamous line at the time that Austin took his ball and went home, Punk was comparing him being a fan of the rattlesnake to MJF blaming Punk for burying his dreams when he left WWE. Speaking to MJF directly, Punk says he's done horrible things, including pouring alcohol down someone's throat and mocking a wrestler's addiction until he lost his job because of said issues. That's a reference to Punk's 2009 program with Jeff Hardy, which only ended with Hardy being released by WWE due to his substance abuse problems. Punk also spoke about covering a legendary wrestler's body with the ashes of his dead manager, a nod to his 2013 feud with The Undertaker, which incorporated the real-life passing of Paul Bearer. The segment ended with MJF, Wardlow, and Shawn Spears leaving Punk in a bloody mess in the ring. And what do you make of Punk's comments? Did they build his story with MJF? Or is this just another case of AEW trying to reference a company they say they don't pay attention to? Now later today, Vince McMahon will make a rare interview appearance when he sits down with Pat MacAfee. There's a lot of buzz about this interview, which fans expect to be the catalyst to the rumored match between the chairman and the SmackDown commentator at WrestleMania 38. McMahon will have countless stories to tell, but don't expect too much build to the rumored Mania match. That's according to Sean Ross Sapp, who notes that while elements of the interview may be used to promote WWE, this sit-down with McMahon and McAfee will be a real interview as opposed to one filled with kayfabe. Sapp added that the interview should be fascinating, even if the pair don't start throwing haymakers as part of the chairman's appearance. For what it's worth, it's said that if the Mania match does happen, WWE will use, quote, smoke and mirrors, with Austin Theory likely wrestling in McMahon's place, and we'll have to see what the boss and McAfee say later today. Last July, whilst attending a training session ahead of the return of live fans, WWE's Bayley suffered a torn ACL that has kept her out of action ever since. Feeling her knee pop during the training, Bayley's absence has been notable, especially after she dominated SmackDown for over a year, but fans hope she'll soon be back on our screens. It was recently reported that Bayley would likely be back in time for WrestleMania 38 and could even have some role on the show, but it appears that isn't the case anymore. When Mike Johnson reported on several inactive WWE talents, he discussed Bayley, saying, "The current plan is for her to return to TV regularly after WrestleMania." There's no word on what WWE has planned for the role model or how they'll bring her back to TV, but fans wanting to see Bayley before WrestleMania should prepare to be sorely disappointed. For the past 2 years, WWE has been releasing employees, both on-screen talent and those not on camera, as part of seemingly never-ending budget cuts. Now, another person has lost their job as Mike Johnson reports that Lisette Pineda, the now former manager of Global Talent Strategy and Development, has been released by the company. Starting in January 2020, Pineda worked closely with Triple H, who is the Executive Vice President of Global Talent Strategy and Development. In a statement, WWE attributed her departure to the changing landscape of NXT 2.0 and thanked Pineda in a generic statement which didn't mention her by name. With William Regal released in January alongside the likes of Samoa Joe and Road Dogg, it seems nobody is safe if they've worked with Triple H, and now Pineda will have to find work outside WWE. Yesterday we reported on Amari Miller, whose appearance on this week's NXT 2.0 didn't go as planned. After her match with Lash Legend, Miller was stretchered to the back, though this happened during a commercial break. We now know more about her condition as on Twitter, Miller confirmed that she's suffered a concussion and thanked everyone who had sent her support. WWE thankfully takes concussions very seriously these days, and there's no word on when fans can expect to see her back in the ring. For now, Miller's focus is recovering from this week's scary incident, and we'd like to send the young NXT superstar the best on her road back to the ring. Speaking of NXT 2.0, Duke Hudson has been a fixture of the show since last July, but his actions as of late have garnered him a reputation no wrestler wants. On Twitter, a clip from last week's NXT 2.0 was shared in which Hudson hits Dante Chen with a modified Razor's Edge, and in response, Lance Storm called his use of the move unsafe and said that Chen could have gotten a concussion. Storm's tweet was liked from various big names including Edge, Mick Foley, James Storm, and AEW's Brian Pillman Jr., who said that Chen's head hit the mat hard. Big Swole also responded, saying that as soon as she saw the move, she knew something was wrong. Being branded unsafe is possibly the worst thing a wrestler can be called, and with Hudson nowhere to be seen on this week's episode, his WWE career may be in jeopardy. Since coming to AEW, MJF has established himself as a true star of the company and is considered one of the most hated heels in wrestling today. With AEW having such a loyal fan base, part of MJF's tactics for getting booed is to openly say he'd be willing to go to WWE, a similar move to the heel Rob Van Dam during his time in ECW. Speaking this week to Freddie Prinze Jr. on the Wrestling with Freddie podcast, the Salt of the Earth reiterated his claim that he'll go wherever the money is after his current AEW deal expires in 2024, and is confident that WWE recognizes his talent, saying, "I genuinely believe WWE is going to be willing to do whatever it takes to get me to jump ship, because to have me is to pretty much take a sniper rifle and shoot the heart of all elite wrestling, because that's exactly what I am. I'm the glue because everybody around me hates my guts. Everybody wants to punch me in the face. I'm the top tier guy that everybody has a problem with. When you take your biggest antagonist, even though personally I feel I'm a protagonist, when you take your biggest antagonist and you take them away, what do you have? What is the Batman without the Joker? He's nobody. He's boring and has no intrigue whatsoever. There is just no success without having that thorn in your side. I got no problem being that thorn because it makes me a ton of money. So to answer your question, Fred, yeah, I do believe that these people are going to shell out a lot of cash for me." It feels like MJF's stock continues to rise with each passing week, and WWE will no doubt be looking to sign him when they get the chance, but we'll only know for sure what his future holds in 2 years' time. And we're ending today with Jon Moxley, as the former AEW World Champion has been confirmed for GCW's next Bloodsport event. Bloodsport 8 will happen on March 31st at Fair Park in Dallas, Texas, and it's been confirmed that Moxley will take on Biff Busick, formerly known as Oney Lorcan. In a tweet from Josh Barnett, he said that this match will see a Mat clinician take on a human tsunami in what'll be a huge match for the show that'll air on Fight during WrestleMania week. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.